not a cease and desist. It was an ultimatum. We won't go ahead and let the lawyer explain it.
This must have been shocking to you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice. And
All right, like I said, it was not a cease and desist. It was actually an ultimatum. Lawyers reached out to Pierce Morgan, and basically said, "Hey, you got to stop with all that nonsense that you're allowing on your platform." Everyone knows Jaguar Wright went to the Pierce Morgan show, and she was bringing up Beyonce and Jay-Z, tagging her and her husband along with Diddy, along with allegations, basically saying that Jay-Z is a monster, Beyonce is a monster, they're worse than Diddy. Like I said, it was not a cease and desist. It was not a cease and dismiss. It was not a cease and desist. It was an ultimatum. It was like, hey, we're gonna stop all that.
acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, it didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I've always believed that the truth will come out in courtrooms, and I'm sure the truth will come out here.
All right, so there we have it. Right, like I said, it was not a cease and desist. It was actually an ultimatum. It was an ultimatum, folks. And of course, the lawyer speaks for Jay-Z and Beyonce. So, like I said, ultimatum, take it down, issue an apology, and he did exactly that. He took out the portions of Jaguar when she was mentioning Jay-Z and Beyonce name. And he also issued out an apology. Right? So this just goes to let you know that Jay-Z and Beyonce mean business when it come down to their name and to their brand. Right? One can go on to say, why haven't they did this with any other platform, podcast? Right? It's to go after the big fish. Right? You want to go after the big fish. Right? And it's basically sends a message to any other big media outlets. It's like, hey, think twice before you have Jaguar Wright or anyone else speaking negatively about our name, our brands, our characters, who we are as people. Think twice before you let them on your platform. Like I said, yes, Jaguar has been on umpteen numbers of platforms, but this by far was the biggest, right? And so Jay-Z and Beyonce, they rather go after the big fish than the little fish, right? Like I said, folks, Jaguar has nothing to offer the Carters, right? Jaguar Wright has nothing to offer the Carters. If they did take her to court, they did file a lawsuit. She has nothing to offer, folks. And that's just what it is. It's just the bottom line truth, right? But the Pierce Morgan show, of course, has millions behind it, if not billions, right? So go after the big fish. And basically, this sends a message to any big platform. Do not have anyone on your show speaking ill on our name, our personality, our business, allegedly, right? So there you have it, folks. Gonna move right on to the next subject because I know, I know you guys are tired of hearing about the whole, and it's crazy, but it's honestly the truth, right? When it's like now when we speak of Diddy or uh Jaguar, it's all tied together, right? And so I understand why Jay-Z and Beyonce want to detach their name to this. I don't know if they can at this point, but I can understand why, right? Because when you think of Diddy, you're now forced to think of Beyonce and Jay-Z and Jaguar, right? We're going to move right on, folks, because I know we're tired of that. It's like to the point, it's like, hey, we want to know the names. We want to see the tapes. Everything else is like, we're over it, right? FBG Duck